My name is Joyce Tolbert, and I was a Soul Train dancer from 1983 to 1988.
My name is Demonica Santiago. I was a Soul Train dancer from 1984 to 1988.
Just coolin'.
I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, the daughter of Tab and Clarice. I was that kid singing Etta James and Gladys Knight and the Piffs when company come over.
I was born in Anchorage, Alaska. Lived my first few years in Anchorage, Alaska, then raised in LA. Some of it in San Bernardino Valley, and then up to LA when my mom and father divorced. My father's a musician. He toured and played with Etta James, Ike and Tina Turner, Rolling Stones, Billy Preston. So that's how I actually ended up being born in Anchorage, Alaska.
I used to dance in the basement with Rochelle Stewart when I was younger. She is actually in a group called Black Girl. But yeah, we used to dance to Donna Summer in the basement.
I started dancing in middle school. I took a jazz class. So I ended up loving dancing, and that was like a release, a stress release for me.
I met Demonica when I was like 12.
I met Joyce through an ex-boyfriend.
A guy named Bo, and he looked kind of like El DeBarge. Remember that look was popular with the tail and the mole?
At the time, I had broken up with Bo, but it wasn't like a breakup because, matter of fact, I can remember when we started and when we ended. But when he met Joyce, he was like, oh, I gotta tell you, I gotta introduce you to, my girlfriend. I was like, okay.
He called me, and then he called Demonica, put both of us on the phone. We got each other's numbers, and we became the best friends, and still to this day.
From there, we had started hanging out. So by the time we got to high school,
Westchester High School,
Joyce had formed this dance group called the Dapper Girls.
Demonica, Greta, Kim Jackson, Alicia Rogers, Tracy Jones, Regina King, Daphne Wayans. Oh, Varsity Joseph. That's the Dapper Girls. We showed Regina King dance steps, and that's how she became like an honorary Dapper Girl.
Dancing in LA at that time was the best. It reminded me of the film Grease. You know how in Grease there were cliques and they also danced. That was how we were. And at that time, there was a lot of dance groups.
We danced and battled in LA at the Veterans Auditorium. We'd always win first place.
The Ultra Wave, it was the best scene, the best time. And being the Dapper Girls, we were that clique.
We was the shit. It kept us busy. We were in rehearsal on the weekends, and then we started dancing on Soul Train.
We started dancing on Soul Train. Well, Joyce started sooner than I did. I was around 15.
I was excited. I had my outfit on the bed. Like, girl, are you kidding? I could hardly sleep the night before. I was so excited. Yvette Moss was a dancer on Soul Train, and she was good friends with my father, and she brought me on Soul Train when I was like 11 or 12. And Cold-Blooded, Rick James was there. He performed that day.
What we gonna do with the funk, y'all? What you want to do with the funk?
Don't say it.
Eric Cassine was doing the sound equipment for our school. He happened to be late. So I have my little attitude because Joyce and I believe Daphne or Tracy, we were sitting on the side waiting for him. So Eric pulled up at the last minute. I had an attitude, went to him and said, why you late? He looked at me like, this little 15-year-old, right? Got nerve. He apologized. He's like, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. But then he mentioned, would you like to dance on Soul Train? I was like, well, I thought you had to be 18. He was like, well, yeah, in a way, but we'd love to have you on the show. The first time on Soul Train was interesting because on TV, it looks bigger. So when I walked on there, I was like, this is it. And to see the people like Louie and Cheryl, it's almost like surreal, but interesting. Because now all of a sudden, these people that I would watch on Saturday, I was now in the same place. And it was exciting.
We were influenced by Prince a lot back then. Prince and Vanity. The silk shirts was out, and the brooches, and you put the brooch here, and then the pearls and the gloves.
My fashion style was Joyce. I didn't have a fashion style to try to look older because I was so young. And then, so I would try to put on something that would make me look older, and I would end up being pretty much swallowed in it and uncomfortable. So when Joyce created things, that was where my creativity came from. And and she said, okay, we're gonna wear this, we're gonna do that, I was just that mannequin, like, okay.
And we'd like for you to meet two of our Soul Train dancers. How your name?
Joyce Tolbert.
It was a lot of memorable moments. I got to do the scramble board. I got on the riser. Sheila E. performed, and I got to dance on the riser. I had my yellow on, and I was excited.
How your name?
Demonica Santiago.
Demonica.
I loved a lot of the artists on there. To say a favorite would probably be based off of a song that I loved. Not that I should say The Freaks Come Out at Night should be one of my favorite songs, but I loved Houdini. They were fun. Getting on stage was not an option. Eric would try to put us up there so that we could kind of get a feel for it. And when he would try to get us camera time, and Don laughing at us, having us change around because we wore the same outfits.
Don would get mad because we would dress alike sometimes, and he was like, I'm tired of seeing in white dresses, and he knew he was talking about us. We would think of different gimmicks to come down the line. Like, I got the band jackets from Westchester. I had the keys to all the classrooms and stuff. So I went into the music closet and I took the jackets. And we used them to perform at Veterans, and we used them to go down the line on Soul Train.
One of the best ones was me, Joyce. We were dancing with Louis. He came and tipped off one of our hats. Oh, another memorable moment too. We dressed up like Louis, and I can't think of the other person's name. So we pretended like we were them. And we were gonna try to fake going down the line, acting like we were them. And all of a sudden they came out, tipped off our hats, like a surprise, like, oh, that's not them? And then we went down and we were doing a routine together. So that was one of the most memorable moments. I love that moment, yeah.
My dad didn't want me to dance on Soul Train after a while. So I used to have to sneak on Soul Train and dance on there without his knowledge. He'd be like, God damn it, Joyce! When he would turn on that TV on Saturday with that remote.
How your name?
Shireen Crutchfield.
Hi, Shireen.
I couldn't dance on Soul Train no more, so Demonica had met Shireen, so they were dancing. So Jason Winborg called me and said, Suave needs someone to dance background for him. So I called Demonica called Shireen, and so they came over. We did a rehearsal, and we went to a club. Suave performed. We all went, and that was the first time we performed together dancing. Not singing, but just dancing. I had a singing group I was in called Vogue, and they were giving me problems. Demonica was like, I'm gonna figure something out. She would come over to my house after school. And so she is the one that went and got the record deal because she knew I wanted to sing, and she did it for me. The Good Girls is about a friendship between two people.
One of the groups kind of pissed me off because I felt they made her cry. So I was just like, you know what? Don't worry about that. I know tons of people in the industry, blah, blah, blah. We knew Jonathan Clark through the artist Suave. I danced in his video. I walked over and introduced myself to Jonathan and talked to him about the Good Girls and said, hey, if I bring a 3-girl singing dance group to you, will you manage us as well? So he took us to a few labels, did like a bidding type war. Gerald Bussey presented the best package, and that's how we ended up being signed to Motown Records.
When I got the deal, my dad didn't know anything about it. I used to sneak and act like I was going to school, and I was really going to rehearsal. And so I told my sister, I was like, I'm gonna sign the deal. And she's like, Daddy's gonna kill you. And I was like, I don't care, I'm gonna do it. We were waiting for Shireen to graduate from high school so that we could go ahead and start. So we just waited and just continued getting everything together. And then when she graduated, then we went ahead and started the group. Jonathan Clark is the creator behind the Good Girls.
He came up with the Catholic school skirts. Now, he did have a twist on it, which was, at first he was gonna have us similar to like a Vanity 6, so we're gonna wear the Catholic school skirts like with garters and everything, until we were like, that's not gonna happen. And he saw that we were really true Good Girls. With the concept of the first video to be in the high school in our community. We were all from LA. Inglewood, Westchester, Culver City. So go to a school that, again, the community can relate to so that we can have the vibe and have that whole dance scene, again, where we grew up from. Ronnie from New Edition made a cameo. We knew them in high school, actually based off of Tracy dating Ronnie. We asked Ron, which he was so happy to do, the creators of the video was like, oh, you know what? We'll also create a cartoon character of him, and us getting mad that he's choosing Tracy over us.
When we came back to the show as performers after getting a deal with Motown, it felt really good to come back, and we were nervous. You know, this is our first time performing on TV at our alma mater, Soul Train. We've watched so many entertainers on that stage, and now we were on the stage. So we were nervous the first time. But after that, it was like, come on, let's go to Soul Train. So anytime we had a new song come out, Don would always have us.
Boy, they are good, aren't they?
I felt like when he did the interview, he was proud of us. You know, he was proud of us.
What we'd really like to do is congratulate you and say how happy we are for you.
Coming back as an artist was like heaven, which Don Cornelius noted. He's like, oh, he finally made it to the stage. We're like, yes. You know, so it felt good. And we got a chance to really feel what it felt like.
Your love is so sweet. I need your loving every day of the week. It's so good.
We kind of grew apart and went our separate ways. It's almost like, again, changing careers, jobs, where all of a sudden you realize, oh, maybe that's not the job I really wanted. Singing wasn't my love. I was supposed to be going to college to be a psychiatrist. Since I didn't get a chance to finish college, I went behind the scenes. Started working in the record business. After I figured out what area I wanted to go in, my business today is exactly that, music administration. I handle publishing, I handle label admin as well. And then I also try to teach and give back.
I kept recording and I started writing. I never stopped writing from that time to even to this day. I have songs, never put them out. I did all kinds of things. I used to design suits for the basketball players. I did that for a couple of years. I went into film and TV. I worked with F. Gary Gray for 5 years. I also did some music on some of his films that he had. I did background with New Kids on the Block. I kept doing a lot of background for different people. I worked at Yab Yum for Tracy Edmonds. I would just take jobs and I would enjoy myself. It wasn't that, oh, I used to be an entertainer, and it wasn't that for me. It was that I just wanted to master and learn and enjoy doing it.
I love to dance, so I love music. If the time went back, I would do it again. I enjoy Soul Train. I loved everyone on there. It was fun.
My overall experience dancing on Soul Train changed my life. It gave me an outlook to see where I could go with things. Here on the radio, and then I could just see them on stage. You know, that gave me a real insight on what my future could be.